What's up everybody? Welcome back to the zasko.business channel, okay? This video is going to be a little bit different because, well, we need to have a chat, we need to discuss some things, and we need to get on the same page because I guess everyone's got a different understanding of where I'm up to in my journey. This video was meant to be me going on a walk, and I tried recording that, but the wind was so bad that I just could not record at all. So sadly, sitting in my room, but that's alright, I can still get the same point across anyways. The first thing that I want to explain, and the thing that is probably the most important, is that everything is actually going really well and the progression that we're making is pretty crazy. From the start of this series, who I was then as a person in general is completely different to who I am now. We've developed in so many areas, and one of the biggest ones being the financial pillar. At the start of the series, I was like barely able to afford any of my expenses. I couldn't really afford food. I was just eating like sourdough bread and it was just so messy. Got to a point in the series where I was like trying to eat lentils because I just couldn't afford nothing, and fast forward to now and things are very different. In the last video, I got a lot of hectic feedback, but it seems like a lot of it comes from a lack of understanding, and I know that that's my fault because I just haven't been able to explain myself properly, and it's really hard to do so when in the weekly videos that are predominantly based on Valorant, I have to like somehow keep you guys up to date with the IRL side of things as well. A lot of the decisions I make and there's a lot of thought put into them, and it's just hard to convey that all, so it seems irrational, irresponsible, and like it just, the point doesn't get across. It's like the details aren't there. You guys don't know why I'm making the decisions I'm making, and yeah, that leads to confusion. And then we get things like last week where people are telling me that I've got like a really sad life and that I, you know, like there was just some crazy comments, and I was like, oh, the understanding is completely wrong. So that's why I wanted to make this video. My self-worth and like how I feel has absolutely nothing to do with my Valorant rank. And this journey is not about Valorant like at all. Like it's about reaching IRL Radiant. And I know that sounds like dumb and the whole concept is like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But it's just a way of saying that my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health, and my financial health are the number one priority in like my development. Becoming a good Valorant player is not the goal because there's not really any depth to that, right? However, if I become a really good Valorant player or a professional, that would elevate my business, and my coaching business becomes more credible. It drives more traffic to it. I'm showing people the things that I'm teaching is, you know, applicable at a pro level. More traffic, maybe I can work with pro players, whatever, right? I really want to get to that point, right? And by becoming this really talented Valorant player, I can develop all the other areas of my life. By becoming a really talented player, maybe I can make more money working less time, and that means I can cover my financial pillar and I can have the time to spend time with family and connect emotionally with people, work on my emotional intelligence and work on my health and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of the vision for my journey at the moment, and in terms of the progress that I've made towards that, it's like rapid. It's really good. I think the progression at the moment is crazy. Now, last week, things changed for me like mentally, and I decided that I was at a point where I can really hone in on Valorant now. I completely understand that, like, you know, I've been hard stuck Ascendant, not literally because we peaked Immortal 2 a few times and we've done really good in that regard, but like the fact that I'm Ascendant right now and we started Ascendant is kind of like, oh, what the hell? But now I'm in a different position, right? Like I'd say the first 6 months of this series, the very first 6 months, all of it was me learning how to do YouTube. I had to learn how to edit because the week 1 was literally the first time using DaVinci Resolve. I had to learn how to, you know, structure my videos in a way that's entertaining. I had to learn how to create these stories and also explain like what's happening in my life. I had to figure out what I could record, what I couldn't. I had to figure out how to record things properly, how to even get videos from my phone to my computer. There's so much that I had to figure out. And yeah, the first 6 months, even down to the thumbnails, learning how to do monetization, learning how to get the KoFi going and figuring all that out. There's just been so much to figure out. And the first 6 months, I was really onto that. That still carried forward in the next like 6 months afterwards. However, it just got a bit easier as I figured out what my actual limits were, how to get that going well. There was obviously times where I was working like 25 hours on editing just one video, and then like 25 hours out of my week were going to just editing and nothing else. And that was obviously detrimental. You can't progress at Valorant if your full priority is YouTube and building this YouTube channel. The next 6 months after that was all about transitioning from full-time, like I was originally working like 30 to 40 hours in this warehouse, and I slowly dropped it down, and eventually I made the jump to full-time YouTube. And that 6 months was a massive adjustment, like huge adjustment. I was learning how to, you know, manage my money better. There were times where I wasn't making enough money. There were times where, you know, I did have to go back to lentils because I wasn't earning enough money and things were really tricky. And yeah, it was constantly up and down with that. Once again, while learning how to work on YouTube and trying to push YouTube and like push the boundaries of, you know, what I can do to get more videos out and whatever it was, right? Like I was just trying my absolute hardest to survive because I just made this massive transition into becoming a full-time YouTuber. For a while, it was tricky, but as you guys know, like I never give up. I don't give up, and I don't ever plan on giving up. So I just keep going, and obviously we get to the position we are here. I've now grown a second channel. The second channel is my mechanical coaching business. I teach heaps of people every day, and I get to, well, not every day, 2 days a week now. That's something we're going to talk about. And yeah, I get to teach heaps of people how to learn, you know, new skills, how to kill people better, how to do things in Valorant that, you know, most other people don't talk about. And that has just put me in a completely fresh position that I've never been in before. At the moment, I've gotten myself to be able to work 2 days a week. So I'm doing half of Saturday is editing, the other half is coaching, half of Monday is editing, the other half is coaching. And that leaves me now with 5 whole days where I can completely focus in on Valorant and nothing else. This position that I've put myself in now is probably the most insane position I've ever been in my life. I don't know how. It's like I never expected to be in this position. The reason I say this is because it's taken me a year to get here, and people are like, oh, you're making no progress. I had someone say, maybe this isn't for you, right? But what people don't understand is that I've been laying the foundation of becoming a great like Valorant player. It would have been irresponsible for me to just quit everything, not start a YouTube channel, not start anything, and not try and have any kind of financial backing and just go all in on Valorant to try and become a pro and compete in one of the hardest sports to compete in without any kind of foundation or support. And it would have been irresponsible. I'd be telling my parents, hey, no guys, trust me, in 2 years time, like I'll be able to pay board then. It's like, that's not what we want, man. That's not what we want. But because I put in the work for the first year, now I can chase that dream, and I can work really hard towards becoming a pro Valorant player, all without any extra guilt. And I'm still saving for my house one day. Going back to the like sad life that I live, I mean, I don't know, man. Things are going really good, and I don't feel that at all, but I don't know, each to their own. Maybe other people wouldn't want the life that I've got. In terms of the like shiny object syndrome and that whole thing, again, I couldn't really communicate it properly in the video because it just would have taken too long, and now I'm making a whole video about it. But because I was shifting my focus completely from, you know, all these other things to just Valorant and, you know, locking in on grinding mode, I just wanted to minimize everything, minimalize everything, just cut out all the junk, cut out all the crap, reset, give myself a really clean slate to grind from, because I think that's really important. The golf, I thought I was spending too much time on golf, and I just found it really distracting, and I just didn't see a reason to really grind it as hard as I was. I was putting in hours and hours every single day grinding. The Chinese, I literally had like days where I was learning Chinese for 5 hours. Like, I don't know. Once again, it's not going to get me where I want to get. Hobbies are hobbies, but other hyperfixations are other hyperfixations, and we just got to understand what they are and, you know, understand who I am as well. At the end of the day, I'm a pretty ADHD human being, and, you know, despite working through that with doctors and all sorts of, I've tried everything, right, to find some, you know, ease for the brain. But despite all that, like, we're still gonna see these random hyperfixations out of nowhere, these distractions and the shiny object syndrome. I guess it's there, right? But this isn't a new shiny object that I'm chasing. This is me getting rid of the shiny objects. This is me saying, okay, going this hard on golf and going this hard on Chinese, it's not gonna get me to financial, physical, mental, or physical mastery. The change in diet felt really forced, honestly. Like, I just felt like I had no other choice, and I explained it a little bit at the end of the video, but once again, too hard to get into the finer details. But right now, I'm like almost concerned that there is something medical going on. It's not normal for someone to react this poorly to any anything that increases your blood sugar, any carbohydrates, any sugars, it kills me. It really does just destroy my day straight away. And I said this in a few videos where, like, you know, I have carbohydrates and immediately my day ends. I'll do keto in the first half of the day, I feel amazing, and I grind. The second I have carbohydrates, bang, my day is completely over. And I mean it when I say that. I'm not exaggerating. Like, it's genuinely the biggest crash ever, and I almost end up in this like depresso kind of, like, I just feel so bad. It's just so bad. I swapped to full keto and I feel the best I've ever felt in my life. And, you know, I don't have any carbohydrates, and therefore I just, all day, every day, I feel good, I grind good, everything's good. Yes, it's kind of like, oh cool, we found a diet that works, but it's also like concerning. It's like no one else around me has this problem. They eat whatever foods they want, they perform the same. They eat whatever they want, they feel the same. My partner can eat whatever she wants, and there's literally no difference in the way she feels or acts or says or anything. It's just completely the same. It's consistent. It's like she's capable of digesting these foods really well. I'm thinking maybe there's some like diabetes or something. I don't know. I'm also really dramatic, so who knows? Like, I don't know, right? But it's just not normal, and it would completely align with why I've been so flip-floppy with the diet for the last who knows how long, the last year literally. But I'm not gonna lie, well before the channel this has been a thing. It just would explain so much. If my body does struggle to eat these foods that everyone says you must eat, it perfectly makes sense why there's a crazy flip-flop, because I'll eat one way, it doesn't work, I go to something else, and then everyone's saying, no, you need to be having carbs, and then I go back to carbs, try it, commit to it, it doesn't work, I go back, but then it's this constant headache, right? It's like, no wonder we're ping-ponging, but at the same time, why am I impacted by these foods so much, like so much worse than anyone else? Why can my friends just eat normally, and I can't? We gotta get some blood tests done, we gotta investigate, we gotta figure that out, because, I don't know, that's all we can do. But yeah, in the last couple of weeks, since condensing down absolutely everything that I need to do work related into just these 2 days, what it allows me to do is, like I said, consistently play 10 games a day, consistently deathmatch, consistently aim train. And because I got the keto diet going and it's still working perfectly fine, I've got an unlimited amount of energy to just grind all day. I literally can, and I don't mind. I know I should get some extra rest in, but I don't even feel like I need to really most of the time, because I feel like the work I'm doing isn't even that hard anyways. I'm playing a video game. The fact that I would play 2 comp games a day, and that would literally burn my head. Like, that would burn and drain my head to the max, and I just was completely mentally exhausted. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Since switching to the keto diet, now I play 10 games, and on the 10th game, I still don't even feel as bad as I would feel on my second game when I was eating like my sweet potato, my rice, my sourdough, my like all the carbs. Basically, eating carbs just doesn't work for me, right? But since the last video you guys watched, I have gotten in 50 competitive games. Mind you, not on my main account all the time, because I didn't have my glasses, and they are a key component to my performance and my ability to play the game. So I was just a lot of the time just playing some games with some friends, or I was just playing in like Diamond 3 Ascendant 1 Elo, which is like 1 division down. But yeah, the progress that I have made in this time, in literally just the 50 games that I played, my game sense actually makes sense. It's actually like, I understand my role, I know what to do as a duelist, as an ISO main, especially with the help of the Hornswogglers. Like I said last week, the Hornswogglers team, the GOATs, they helped me out so much, and they have been continuing to do so. I've been having like these crazy epiphanies. Every time they tell me something new, it like breaks down these limiting beliefs that I've been having about the game that have held me back for so long. Like, they just break them, and I'm just like skyrocketing with that. So when you guys see my Valorant gameplay next week, you're not gonna believe it. You're not gonna believe it. It's a completely different player. The cherry on top with that though is that the coach of their team is the absolute GOAT, smartest man alive. I think he's like chess grandmaster. Mate, this guy's a genius, okay? But he's been working with me to break through some of my, again, beliefs about what my day should look like, and he's been helping me create a bit more balance and a bit more of a healthy approach to my grind, right? He understands what it takes to become a professional, and he's been teaching me how to go based on feels a whole lot more, and not so much like, you know, systematic time blocking where everything takes so much thought and it's like I have to schedule my rest, schedule my exercise, schedule this, schedule that. He's been helping me take a much more feeler approach to the grind altogether. The ideal day that is kind of suggested that I work towards is wake up, 15 minutes of self-care, get myself just feeling good. Maybe that's when I go for my walk or whatever. I usually go for a morning walk, and then yeah, once I'm ready to go, I smash out games, go for like 4 to 5 games. He said go by feel. The second you feel tired, you just stop. All right, and then we're gonna take a 2-hour break, but like that's the average, you know. Maybe it's 1.5 hours, maybe it's 2.5 hours, who cares, right? It's just go by the feel of when I feel completely reset and ready to continue grinding, and then come back. In that 2 hours though, that's when I would take a complete break from screens. I would stop, you know, that's not when I work, that's not when I get my, you know, that's when I eat some food, go for another walk, and like he was saying, you know, that's when I could hypothetically play some golf. That's when I could just play 30 minutes out in the backyard, hit the training ball, and just take it easy, right? Not a crazy 3-hour golf session every single day where I hyperfixate on it. Just swing the club, all right? And one thing that I've been working on as well is if I'm going to, you know, do these kind of hobbies and stuff, it's just to keep it as a hobby, right? Keep all my brain power and thought for the grind at hand, which is Valorant, and not towards golf. Just swing for the sake of swinging. That's it. We're not there to become a professional, the next Tiger Woods, you know? But again, when the fatigue is gone and I feel like well rested, I'm recovered, I've not been straining myself, I feel ready to grind again, then we get back into the grind. We play another 3 or 4 games, we do our death matches, we do our aim training, we do our VOD reviews. That's when we continue, right? And once the day's done, that's when we can smash out a little bit of exercise, not the detrimental amount of exercise that we were doing that caused recovery problems where I just wasn't able to recover. I had the shaky aim all the time and that sort. He just explained that it should just be there to like almost supplement the main grind. And when I feel like I'm, you know, starting to really fatigue, the muscles will just stop, just cop the slower gains. But, you know, that way we're not going to have any recovery problems. But besides all that stuff, something really cool to mention is my glasses are insane, okay? I don't know how to describe this in any other way besides the fact that I have transcended the limitations of human vision. I am an eye. When I went to the doctors, I told them that I want them to optimize my eyes as much as humanly possible. And these doctors know a thing or two about eyes. They're the best eye doctors I've ever been to in my life. They had me like break one of their records for the smallest letter to have ever been read on their screen. So I was feeling good. The eye, like my vision is so stupidly clear. It's insane. And I was playing a deathmatch with it earlier today and just mucking around on Valorant, and man, it feels good to be back and seeing things better than I've ever seen them before. So once again, a massive buff that I'm excited to see what it does to our gameplay. I apologize that there is no Valorant gameplay in this video, and the reason for that was just because I needed to talk to you guys about this without distraction, and I also wanted to grind without distraction for a week. Hopefully moving forwards, my communication will be better and I won't need to catch up on everything like we are doing here, and yeah, that way we can keep getting some nice Valorant gameplay in and having things be entertaining for you guys. So all the best again on your grind. We're making huge strides, and I don't know, I just wanted you guys to know that I'm proud of how far we've come. I love the community we've grown, and yeah, I love you all. Peace out.